Who am I? Well, you're about to find out. Hi everyone, my name is Amina Sheikh. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video, okay, so if any of you guys have seen my YouTube channel, which you should if you haven't already, you'll notice that there's already a get to know me video, right? Like there's already one. And I know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking, Amina, why? There's already one. Well, I realized something. So that one's more of a day in my life where I kind of take you through the day and I kind of tell you about what my day looks like, and I tell you like some snippets and some facts about myself throughout the day. But I didn't realize that I hadn't done a sit down intro video like this, and I think you guys, you guys deserve that, because you guys deserve to know who you are following. So, with like the title of the video, I got myself a cup of coffee. I hope you have a drink yourself. And at the end of the video, I would really appreciate it if you guys could comment some things about yourself, just so we could get to know each other, and see who everyone is while we build this community. And you know what? I'm like so stoked, because can we just appreciate that this matches my outfit? Like, that's one thing about myself. Already we're telling each other things about ourselves. I love to match my outfits like really randomly. Like I'll either match it with like my bag or my shoes. I just love to do that. Coordination's everything. But anyways, so let's get started. I'm just gonna take a sip. So, who am I? My name is Amina. I am 22 years old. I just turned 22 in Feb. So I'm currently based in the US, but I was actually born and raised in Dubai. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. I know you guys are thinking, oh my gosh, she's stacked. No, she's not. She's not stacked. Dubai has middle-class families. The amount of times I've had to explain that I was not born in a Bugatti, okay? Like, I was born in a normal hospital. Dubai has middle-class families. And this is one thing. It's just crazy to me that I have to explain it, but yes, I was born in Dubai. I am not Arab. I'm actually originally Indian. If you've been to Dubai, I'm sure you must have noticed that there's actually a lot of Indian people there. So, we were part of the statistic. And I spent the first 10 years of my life in Dubai. They were definitely the first least stressful 10 years of my life, because, well, I was 10 and under, Yeah, so I have a lot of family in Dubai. I know a lot of you followed me through my aunt's account. She's also based in Dubai. Basically, Dubai is a motherland for me. After 10 years, so in 2013, we moved to Canada and we lived there for 5 years. I know, super random, but I love Canada. I cannot tell you. I can't explain this. I just love Canada. I don't know if it's because it was like the 5 years where I grew up, like as in like I went from 10 to 15, so that's, I feel like, a huge difference to go from 10 to 15, And I did my integral growth years in Canada, so maybe that's something, but Canada was good vibes. Canada was good vibes. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. We stayed in a like smaller town, so it was a more close and tight-knit community. It was a very diverse community. It wasn't like all Indians or all Pakistanis. It was a mix of everyone, and it was so nice and it was so fun. I did most of my middle school, and honestly, like, the teachers there, man, I had some of the best teachers. I'm so fortunate, because a lot of the times, like, when I live my life now, I realize that certain things that I do is because I learned it through those teachers, because I learned it through, their teachings, and I just love that. And sometimes I think, like, whenever I go back to Canada, I want to just say thank you to them. They were so amazing. They nurtured growth, and I don't even think they know the extent of growth that they nurtured. And that's what I think is so profound about teachers, I've been one of those people who's always admired their teachers. So I think they don't realize how much of an impact they had in my life. So I love them for that. But yeah, so Canada was nice. It was an intermediate period where I was growing up, where my sister was growing up, and it was kind of like, it was just growth. It was a moment of growth. And I honestly did develop a lot of lifelong friendships there. I do believe that. When we got the news that, okay, in 2018 we'll be moving to the US, I was honestly really heartbroken because I had made so many connections in Canada, and just to kind of uproot for the second time, it was a lot. And if you're an immigrant, I am sure you can relate to this because you're leaving a whole life behind for a new one. And because I did that twice, it took a toll. And the first time was okay because I was just 10, but the second time it was like, okay, I had these connections, I had these bonds, and I just kind of had to go. But anyways, we went with it, and in 2018 I moved to the US, and it's been a ride. I've stayed here ever since, and it's been a ride. Yeah, my high school experience was a high school experience. What can I say? Like, it's crazy because I feel like people don't talk about this enough. When you're a teenager, you go through a lot. You go through a lot cognitively and in terms of development as well, where you're kind of like, you don't know what's happening around you. I think that's the essence of being a teenager. You have no idea what's going on around you. Like, that was me. I honestly think of high school as a blur because it's just like so much was happening, one after the other, you know. First, fitting in. Even though it's US and Canada, I was really surprised that there was a culture shock, you know. Like, of course not as much as like from Dubai to Canada, but Canada to US does have a culture shock. Just getting over that, making connections, making friends. I did make a lot of wrong friends, so we love that. And in high school, you're trying to catch up. I moved in grade 10, which is kind of in the middle of high school. To me, like, I had to catch up in terms of like work, in terms of studies and all of that stuff. So, you know, like, it got a lot after a while and it was overwhelming, but eventually you get into the rhythm of things. You kind of start going with the flow, and that is what ended up happening. And then COVID happened. We love COVID. No, we don't. COVID, I think COVID is one of the reasons why high school is such a blur, because I was in grade 11 when COVID happened. So basically half of grade 11 and all of grade 12 was just spent in COVID. And it was crazy because, like, it was during the SATs, which is a standardized exam that every high school student has to take to get into college. I was in the middle of studying for the SATs when COVID happened, so it was like kind of a lot. Yeah, and then the next 1 year was like full online. That year I don't even remember what happened that year, because I just remember sleeping a lot. But you know, alhamdulillah, I graduated from high school and I got into university, and I did university as a pre-medical student. For medicine, I volunteered in clinics and hospitals, and you know what, I started to like that. It was nice, it was rewarding, and that is honestly what I wanted from a job. I wanted something where I could provide a service and I could be helpful and I could do something for the community, and healthcare is just that and so much more. And I am currently in my senior year of university, so fantastic. Now, just some fun facts about me. I love coffee, if you have not realized it. I don't know why. See, okay, I don't like coffee because it's a trend, okay? I don't know why I feel the need to say this, because a lot of people have made coffee a trend. I don't like it because it's a trend. You know when you're having something and it's like kind of bitter, but you kind of like it? That's coffee for me. And speaking of, I'm just gonna... And as we go and get to know each other, I think you guys are gonna see it. I don't really have strong preferences. I don't really have like, oh, my favorite food is this, my favorite perfume is this. Actually, wait, I do have that. YSL Libre. Intense. But anyways, I don't have really strong preferences for anything. And I don't know what that is. I don't know, maybe it's because I've always loved to explore stuff. I don't have a favorite song. I don't have a favorite movie. Things keep changing. It depends on the weather. I don't know. It depends on where I am in my life. It depends on, you know, like different things. So for me, you guys are gonna see, I don't really have really strong preferences. I don't know if that's a good thing, and I don't know if I'm the only one. Please tell me if you can relate to this. I am a younger sibling. I don't know if I give younger sibling vibes. Apparently I do. I don't know what that is, but apparently I give younger sibling vibes, and I am a younger sibling. I just have one older sister. She's alright. She's alright. No, she knows who she is to me. Now we get to the point where I tell you the purpose of this channel. But for that, to get to that, you guys have to know why I started social media. I started social media in 2022, and it was kind of on and off, because I used it to release creative energy. I needed something that would kind of showcase the creative side of me. So I wasn't that consistent with it. I was just posting whenever, wherever, and whatever. I've always all my life been interested in photography and filmography, hence. But I've always been interested in that. So honestly, before 2022, I did not realize doing social media was a thing. I know in 2020 everyone picked up their phones and started doing TikTok and Instagram, and that's when influencing really like began. Like there was a whole burst of influencing, but I didn't know I could do that. You know, one of my family friends and also my aunt, they were doing social media, and I realized that, okay, you know what, like I can do social media. Like I can pick up my phone, I can start an account, and I can do it, right? And that's what I did. And originally my Instagram, I started with Instagram, and I started posting food content, but then I realized that I actually don't go to that many restaurants. Like I do, and I love going to restaurants, but you know what, like halal restaurants, there aren't that many in this area. So I wasn't going to so many restaurants, and I was just like, okay, if I'm gonna do content, I need to do something else. So then I started doing lifestyle. You know, I haven't looked back since. And it was just kind of like, because I wasn't consistent, it was like whatever. But then in the middle, I remember one of my videos went viral, which I honestly did not think was a possibility, but it just did. And at that point, I realized that people were actually watching my content. Like I was putting this into the world, and people were actually receiving the content, and it was kind of like a thoughtful post. And I remember someone had posted it on their story, because when you post it on stories, like the creators can see that their post is on your story. I remember she wrote like a really nice message, and it was about how she really needed to see it at that moment. And I just realized, like, oh my gosh, people are actually being affected by what I post, but it's in the positive sense. And you know what? I did some analyzing. You spend so much time on social media, you get to realize like what it is. And I realized that to me, social media was a really negative space. I saw it as a space to compare yourself to others. I saw it as a space of like, here's this life that you don't have. Now you can just live vicariously through this person, you know? And something didn't sit well with me, and I realized that, okay, here, people are seeing my content, I have the opportunity to do something, and I have the opportunity to try and bring that change. So basically, my purpose then shifted, and it became like making social media a safe space. If there's like at least one account on the platforms, on every platform, that could just kind of be a safe space for people, I wanted to be that. I wanted to have like a community where, you know, we don't hate, we love, and we share, and you know, we're just a community. And honestly, that is my purpose with this channel, with every platform that I've had, with TikToks, Instagram. I love to start conversations. I love to bond, right? And that's why I have no space for hate, any type of hate, whether it's on someone else or whether it's towards me. I don't tolerate that. If you try to leave a hate comment, it's gonna be deleted, because that's just, you know what, there's a lot of that out there. There's a lot of hate out there, and there's a lot of negativity out there. Don't contribute to that negativity, you know? Like, it's too much, and it's too overstimulating sometimes. And part of the reason why I kind of changed my purpose on social media is honestly because I realized that even I was comparing myself to people. I was comparing myself to other content creators where I was like, why isn't my content looking as aesthetic? Why isn't my content, like there's nothing going on in my life. And you know, it's a slippery slope when you start thinking like that. So eventually I started falling into like consumerism, where just for the trend, I just bought stuff. And the thing is that trends change like that, like 5 seconds, like one time, like, okay, 1 minute, like a certain type of like a cup will be a trend, and the next minute a certain type of bottle will be a trend. And as a creator, you also feel the need to take part in those trends because you want the most aesthetic content, you want the most up-to-date content for your followers. But the thing is that it's not needed. It's just such a waste. And you know what? If you perpetuate those trends, you are perpetuating it to your followers. You are telling your followers to get this cup as well. So then your followers are falling into consumerism. Like, do you get what I mean with this? Like, it's a slippery slope. And it's just this impending cycle where everyone feels the need to keep on top of it, keep up to date with the latest trend. And I just hate trend culture so much. If there's two things that I hate on social media, it's trend culture and cancel culture. What is that? Like, it's just trend culture and consumerism. We've kind of fully eradicated individualism, and to me that is just like so beyond, like I can't imagine that. That's one of the reasons why I changed up my purpose. It wasn't to just have aesthetic content out there. It was to create a safe space for all of my followers and whoever is just engaging. Having done content creation for almost 3 years now, there's one thing that I realized, and it is just, it's so scary to put yourself out there. It is so scary to actually show and be vulnerable with your personality, because like I said, like there's so much hate out there. You just don't want to be attacked for your personality. You don't want to be attacked for like, okay, if I speak in a certain way, it's the way I speak. How am I supposed to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's my voice, I was born with this voice. I can't do anything about it. So it's a very vulnerable space. And that being said, there's so many of you that comment such beautiful things on my account, and I don't think you understand just how much I appreciate it. Like, when I post a YouTube video, because I think a YouTube video is like probably the most vulnerable I've been, like through YouTube, where I really show my personality. And when you guys, post and you comment your support and your encouragement, you have no idea, I read that comment the whole day. For the whole day, I'll just be reading it. And then the next day, I'll pull it out again. I'll just be reading it. Because you don't realize, you have just given me that appreciation, that, okay, that safety to just be myself. So for all of you guys who are watching this, and I'm sure you know who you are so appreciated. You are so appreciated. Like, I cannot explain this to you. It just, being so scared of being vulnerable on social media, like only to have a positive response, is just the most reassuring thing. It restores my hope in humanity, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me that I'm here. See, I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. There was something, I don't know, weirdly glamorous about being a YouTuber. When I was a teenager, it was just like everyone was doing it. And we had like all these crazy YouTubers, right? So I've always wanted to be one. I've always wanted to just be like and subscribe and thank you for watching. And like I've always wanted to say stuff like that. I've always wanted to say welcome back to my channel, guys. Like, so for me to be doing this, it's just so wild. I honestly did not ever think I'd get here. Now the thing is, right, all it took was for me to take out a camera and start vlogging and start creating videos. So it's so wild. That's all you really need to do. And that's all that I needed to do in order to start my YouTube channel and start living out my dream. And yeah, I'm still a really small YouTuber because I just started in January, but I'm doing it. And honestly, like, this is kind of the message that I wanted to give out. Just do it, you guys. Yes, there's scary things, but every single thing will have that. Like, there will be obstacles, there will be hurdles, but just trust the process. Just pick yourself up and just do it. And I know it's easy said than done, and it takes a tremendous amount of courage to do it, which is why I want to encourage you, I want to be, I want to support you. Just trust the process, trust the journey, and enjoy the journey. But like, life's unpredictable. Life's super unpredictable. You don't know if you take that chance, and if you put yourself out there, you never know the possibilities, So it's just, you got this. I think that's a good place to conclude this video. I think that's a great place to conclude this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys learned something about me. Please, please, please comment down below and tell me a little bit about yourself. I would love to get to know every single one of you, I feel like you guys have really supported me and really encouraged me, and I absolutely love you for that. So please comment down below, let me know some fun facts, some things about yourself, and we can really get to know each other. But with that, like and subscribe. I did start a podcast with my beautiful aunt, and I will put the link for it below. It's a YouTube podcast, but it's also available in Spotify, and then we're also on Instagram and TikTok, so please check that out. I think you guys will have a lot of fun, and I think you guys will enjoy it as much as we do. But yeah, follow all of my social, and if you've made it this far, I love you already. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye!